You know what it is. That's right. It's time to talk money with your money nerd and financial coach. Now, tighten those purse strings and open those ears. It's the Money Talk with Tiff podcast.
Hey everyone, I'm super excited because I have Nicky Billou on the line. Now, Nicky is an entrepreneur extraordinaire. He has grown a business to where he is making six figures a month. You know, you hear people saying six figures a year. And so, of course, we're going to be talking about how he did it and what tips he has for us entrepreneurs that are out here just getting started. So thank you so much, Nicky. How are you today?
I'm blessed and grateful, Tiffany. Thanks for having me on the show.
Awesome. Thank you. So let's hop right in because I know you have a lot to share. So first and foremost, what was your journey like to get here? I just want just a brief overview of what that looked like growing your business to the extent that it is now.
Well, thanks for the question. So I'm actually originally an immigrant from the Middle East. I'm a Christian from Iran. When I was a young boy, my late father, God rest his soul, he could see that there was an Islamic revolution happening in Iran, and this was not going to be a great place to raise his Christian family. So he got us out of Iran, and we settled up in Canada. And I thank God every day for my father and his prescience. I don't know if you've been following the news lately, but Iran right now is going through some hard times. And I know there's a lot of people here in the West that like to say, oh my God, America, the West, so oppressive, so racist, so sexist. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. This is the most tolerant, incredible place on the planet. We all get to live freely. A young 22-year-old woman in Iran, Mahsa Amini, was murdered for walking outside with a head covering, but having part of her hair showing, because the law in Iran does not allow women to go outside with their hair uncovered. You think about that. She was murdered. And a whole bunch of other young women right now in Iran are protesting against that. And over 200 of them have been killed in protests. Heavy-handed crackdown by the government. So everybody here needs to push back hard against those crazy people who don't know what the hell they're talking about or are trying to say this isn't a free place, because this is the greatest, freest place on earth. And good men and women fought, bled, and died to make that happen. I'm a believer in freedom. Freedom is what makes business possible. Freedom, free expression, free enterprise. It's what it's all about. My late father, he was an entrepreneur. He's the greatest man I ever knew. If you needed a job, Dad will help get you a job. If you wanted to get set up in business, he'd set you up in business. Even if you were competing with him, he didn't care about that. He just wanted to help people. And if you worked for him and you needed money to buy a car, a house, or an apartment because you didn't quite have enough, he'd help you buy that car, that house, or that apartment. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, who does that? Well, the late, great Napoleon Billou did that. Why would he do that? Well, first of all, he was a Christian and he believed he'd been blessed by God, and it was his duty to share those blessings with others. Secondly, he did it because he could. He had the money. He was successful. So I wanted to be just like that. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And here's what I found when I became an entrepreneur. A lot of entrepreneurs are good people. They want to make a difference. They want to help other people. They want to take care of their families. They want to provide in a big way. But they're nervous. They're scared. They don't want to come across like they're pushy. They don't want to come across like they're salesy. They don't want to come across like they reek of commission breath. You know, so these folks, they wouldn't go after business they should be going after, Tiffany. You know what I mean? And as a result, they wouldn't get that business. And then the people they could be helping, they wouldn't be helped by them. And that would be sad. And some charlatan marketer, some person with no scruples at all, would just, you know, they'd sell the sizzle. And they wouldn't care if they delivered anything for these people. And so things would just be terrible for everybody involved. And here's what I saw. You know what? These good people, what if you could help them look at things differently? What if you could help them reframe selling to serving? Nobody wants to be sold, Tiffany. You don't want to be sold. I don't want to be sold. But everybody wants to be served by a caring human being. So what I really have been helping people do, first and foremost, if you want to have a fantastic income, you got to show people your heart. You got to show people that you care. And that's what I teach people how to do. You know, secondly, you got to stand out. You can't have a Mayo message. You can't sound like everybody else. Everybody's trying to sound like everybody else. What do you do? Well, I'm a coach. Well, what do you do in coaching? Well, I can do anything. Anything? Yeah, anything. I can do anything. No. You can't do anything. You got to narrow your focus. Super, super important. You can't have a message that goes, excuse me, I help people deal with overwhelm. I help people deal with stress. That's nice. That's not what people are looking for. You need a very tight, dialed in message. And I'll tell you a quick story. I had a client come to see me once. He's a young man, full of energy, full of vitality, good fellow, really wanted to help people. You know the type of young man I mean, a good person, kind of fellow who you just want to see him win. You look at him and you go, this is a good dude. He should win in life, And this fellow, he was a personal fitness trainer, 25 years old, and wanted to help everybody. I came to me and I asked him, who do you want to help? He says, everybody. I can help anybody. I said, no, but who do you help? No, anybody. I said, anybody with a wallet and a pulse? Yeah. I go, no. You can't do that. You got to narrow. So I go, okay. He goes, all right, let me think about it. And then he came back to me. He goes, okay, how about doctors? My dad's a doctor. Doctors make a lot of money. Okay, that's nice, but that's not a good message. Doctors, you make a lot of money, come do business with me. Not a good message, right? So that didn't work out for him. And then he says, okay, I'll narrow some more. I'll work with cardiologists. Cardiologists, they're great. So, cardiologists, he said, make more money than doctors. That's not a good message either. You make more money than doctors, come work with me. It didn't work out. But then he met a fellow, He met a fellow who had a missing limb. He was a Paralympian athlete. He was an African-Cuban man who had won Olympic medals at the Paralympic Games. Started training him. Really helped him get strong, get back to training for the Paralympic Games. And I could tell the two of these guys, they were really getting a lot of good things done together. And he came to me and he says, look, I'm really getting a lot of good things done together with this fellow. I want to work with people with missing limbs. I really feel a heart for it. I go, okay, that sounds good. Why don't we start doing that? In 6 weeks, he signed up 400 clients. 6 weeks, 400 clients. He went from $1,500 a month in income, and he added not 1 zero, but 2 zeros to his income. You think about that, $1,500 a month to 6 figures a month. It's a beautiful jump in income. And it only became possible because he came from his heart and he narrowed his message. And his message was this: if you got missing limbs, we're going to make you strong. We're going to make you tough. We're going to make you hard. Imagine someone with a missing limb. By the grace of God, that's not an issue I'm dealing with, but they probably aren't thrilled about the fact that they got some missing limbs. They probably believe they can't, do physical things the way able-bodied people can. But his message was, yes, you can. I'm going to make you stronger. And underneath that message is you're just as good as anybody else. And that's why so many people with missing limbs ended up signing up with this man. And those are two important things that'll help you get, to a 6-figure a month income, to, from wherever you are, you get your message nailed, you show people you care, and you get out there. Wherever your income level is, you'll quickly get to 5 figures, mid 5 figures, and even 6 figures if you just do those two things better than anybody else.
Gotcha. You dropped so many gems right there. So first of all, that was a beautiful story. So thank you so much for sharing. I actually got 3 things from what you said. So differentiate. So make sure that you have something that differentiates you from other competitors. Also have an audience that's narrow. So make sure you niche down to, a certain spot and not try to help everybody. I've also struggled with that. And then tailor your message. So make sure your message is reaching those people that you have now niched down to, and you're showing them how you're different than everyone else. So I feel like, and hopefully I put that together, summarize that in a way that you're proud of.
Well done, Tiffany. Smart lady.
So that's kind of how I took what you said and kind of put it in a step-by-step format. And now I want to ask, because some people, now I will say I've heard some people are afraid of niching down too far. Is there such a thing as niching down too far?
That's not most people's problem, Tiffany. Trust me. It's not most people's problem. It's just a fear. They don't want to miss out, but actually you miss out by not going narrow. It's better to go narrow and go deep than try to go wide, because you'll get nowhere and you get nothing. The other thing that people need to do, though, is they need to value what they do. This is really, really important. If you don't value what you do, nobody else will, okay? And this is a problem so many people in the coaching, consulting, expert industry struggle with, is they undercharge. Oh my God, they got these offers that are just ridiculously low priced. Oh, come join my membership, $47. Oh, come join my coaching program, $297. Are you kidding me? That's not about solving problems. What is business? Business is solving problems for people for profit. It's about solving acute problems for wonderful people for a wonderful profit. That's what you need to do. People, problems, profit. PPP. That is it. That is what we've got to help people understand. That's where the zone is, okay? And the challenge is a lot of people don't understand that, oh, I'm here not selling an offer, but solving a problem. People aren't buying their way into something, your program. They're buying their way out of something, their problem. That's what it's all about. So when you solve a problem, you should be solving big problems. You should be solving a health problem, a wealth problem, or a relationship problem. Listen, if someone's 50, 60 pounds overweight and they could get type 2 diabetes, or they already have type 2 diabetes, they're at risk of heart attack, stroke, they want to fix that. They're willing to pay a lot of money for that. Someone is struggling financially. They're not making the money they deserve because, like you said, they're not niching down. They're not getting the right amount of clients. They're willing to pay money to solve that problem, right? Someone is in a relationship that's about to break up. They're married. They don't want to lose their marriage. They're willing to pay money to solve that sort of problem. These are the sorts of things that make sense if you're a coach, you're a consultant. You want to solve acute problems, big problems, 9 or 10 out of 10 problems. Excuse me, let me drink some water. And if you're not doing that, you're not going to make big money, okay? And then you got to charge appropriately for it, because if you don't get what you should get, you won't give what you should give. You should write this down, listener. If you don't get what you should get, you won't give what you should give. So you won't give the full measure of everything you got to help them solve this problem. Second thing is, because if you're not receiving, the energy exchange isn't working, because money's an exchange of energy. Secondly, this is very, very important. If you are that kind of person, that wants to help everybody, or you're afraid people won't pay because, competition or whatever the hell else, you're robbing your client of the value of your solution. You're robbing your client of the value of your solution. Why? Because if you don't charge appropriately, they won't show up. They just won't. Listen, I'm a knife collector, okay? I collect knives. I'm going to show you a knife I have. This is one of my knives. It's a lovely knife. It's on my desk. It's a very, basic, cheap knife, right? Does the job it cuts. It's on my desk. I don't take any special care for it. Now this is a custom knife someone made for me. It's in its own case, okay? And I'll show you the difference. Look at this knife. It's gorgeous, right? It's beautiful. Look at the blade. It's got something called virus Damascus skin. The handles, these purple Damascus anodization, and the other part of the handle is made out of something called mammoth tooth. This ain't just going on my desk. This is going in its own case. It's going to be oiled. This thing is going to be, properly done. I take care of this because I paid a certain amount of money for it, right? And you need to understand that. If, for example, let's say you're a relationship coach, Tiffany, and you help women who, want to find the man of their dreams, and you got a track record, you're good at it, you help these women find the man of their dreams, get married and all that jazz. And imagine you got a woman who's a business owner, runs a $3 million a year company, and she comes to you, she talks to you, you guys have a great conversation, you get it all figured out. She goes, okay, great, I'm ready to go. I want the man of my dreams. That's what's next for me. What do you charge? And you go, $50. You think she's going to take you seriously? You think even if she pays you that $50, she's going to show up and do the work? No, you need to say something like $5,000. Then she's going to go, oh, okay, all right, here you go. Here's the money, and I'm going to show up. Let's get the results. People show up when they have skin in the game. They don't show up when they don't. Listen, everything I teach, I've also written several books, right? These are some of my business books. Everything I teach, you can learn by reading all my books. Everything I teach. Do you think there's one person, even one, who's just read all my books and made 6 figures a month? Even one. There isn't. But there's tons of people that have paid me between $50,000 and $100,000 a year and have made over $1 million a year because of me working with them. That money that they paid is skin in the game. They show up and they work properly. So, and it's not as simple as you just saying, oh, okay, I'm going to just charge more. You have to own it. And most people don't know how to own it. There's an art and a science to how to do it right. It's one of the things I teach people how to do. But that's important. That's what people need to do and get going for themselves.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I completely agree. I learned that early on, but also recently. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do some free financial literacy classes in my community because I wanted to reach people that don't get my, stuff, my content and stuff online or what have you. And so I partnered with a bank, I partnered with a nonprofit. We showed up and nobody came. And we're just like, what in the world? Like, people should want free financial literacy. And it goes right along with what you were saying. If you don't price it, then people don't value it. So yes, we had people sign up, but nobody made the extra effort to come because they didn't have any skin in the game. So I completely agree with what you're saying there. So anyway, with that being said, you have dropped so many gems, and of course we don't want to give the whole baby away. So with that being said, if people were interested in finding out more about you or learning more about your books or whatever it is you have going on, how could they find you?
Well, they can just go to eCircleacademy.com, and that's my main website. There's all kinds of stuff over there that you can go and get in terms of free resources. I got a podcast of my own that I do where I interview the world's top thought leaders. They can go check that out. And there's a button there, which if you're a business owner and you're serious about taking your business to the next level, you can click on a button that says book a success call. I offer that free of charge. It's a 45-minute coaching call with me where we take a look at where your business is at, where you want to take it to, and we create a blueprint for how to get you there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Nicky. This was awesome. And I'm sure that my audience has taken at least one thing away. If nothing else, then stop doing stuff for free. Put some value on it. But thank you so much. And I appreciate you coming on and spending this time with us.
Tiffany, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me on the show.
Bye.
Thank you for listening, joining, and being a part of the Money Talk with Tiff podcast this week. You can check Tiff out every Thursday for a new Money Talk podcast. But if you just can't wait until next week, you can listen to previous podcast episodes at moneytalkwitht.com or follow Tiff on all social media platforms at Money Talk with T. Until next time, spend wise by spending less than you make. A word to the money wise is always sufficient.